Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be 3 fall looks using 3 spring palettes. I have previously done 3 spring looks using 3 fall palettes and 3 summer looks using 3 winter palettes. I think I'm saying that correctly. I will have those videos linked down below if you missed them. Basically, what I do is pick out 3 palettes from my stash that remind me of a particular season, and then I do a look for the opposite season. Since we are deep into fall, this is 3 fall looks using 3 spring palettes, and these are the palettes I chose. They all look very springy from the outer packaging, and that's a big part of why I chose them. Look at that. If that doesn't just look like spring right there, I don't know what does. I mean, if there's one season that these had to fall into just based on the outer packaging, I think we could all agree that these are very spring-like. The first one is the Dose of Color Ice Cream palette. It looks like this on the inside. I haven't really used this palette before. Maybe I used this lavender shade once, but I don't feel like this palette has really been used at all yet. So the look you're gonna see, which was my first look, is like my first real look using this palette. I was super impressed with this eyeshadow right here called Blueberry Swirl. I'm in love with it. I love this eyeshadow so much. I could definitely see myself rolling this eyeshadow into Pan and Every palette soon, just so I would have an excuse to work on this because I absolutely loved it. So this was the first palette I did a look with. For day 2, I chose my My Little Pony and ColourPop collaboration palette. I was just looking to see if Pinkie Pie is on here because Hazel is really into My Little Pony right now, and I don't see Pinkie Pie, but Pinkie Pie is her favorite. The one with the pink one with the balloons on her butt. Anyways, this is the palette and this is what it looks like on the inside. This palette looks very spring to me overall, but I think I still managed to kind of get a fall look. You tell me. I do think I've used this palette at least once, if not twice before, but again, pretty much an untouched palette. I've definitely used it once before. I remember in particular using this palette for a spring look challenge on Instagram a couple years ago. And for my third palette, I chose the Too Faced Sugar Pop eyeshadow palette. Again, maybe I've used this once before, but really this is basically an untouched palette. That is the look I'm wearing now using this palette right here. I definitely think there are some shadows in this palette that can be used for fall, which would make this a pretty good palette for panning and using up year round, because there's definitely spring, there's definitely summer, and there's definitely fall. I think you could say there's definitely winter too. Yeah, so yeah, this little 9-pan palette is a little bit more versatile than I would think upon first glance, but when I look at it, especially from the outer packaging, I think spring. I hope you find that I created some variety in these 3 looks. One of my biggest concerns was that they were all just gonna look like brownie, plummy, smoky looks, and maybe that is what they turned out to be. So hopefully you enjoy this and you find there's enough variation between the 3 looks. That's what I'm going for, is 3 fall looks, but 3 different fall looks. I don't know if I achieved that or not this time. It was a little tricky. Anyways, we're gonna jump into the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi guys. So this is going to be my first look. I'm using the Dose of Colors Ice Cream palette, and I'm going in with berries and cream to start. I was hoping that there would be a little bit of shimmer in this eyeshadow, but it appears to be just matte, which I'm not a fan of for a brow bone highlight. I then went into Blueberry Swirl, which is the most gorgeous eyeshadow I have seen in a long time. I love this eyeshadow. It is so beautiful. I'm just blending away. That look I'm giving right there is because of Ron. I'm pretty sure he farted really loudly. I really like that color. I'm just going in with a pencil brush and I'm adding more of the blueberry swirl to my lower lash line. I filmed this video back in mid-November and I am just getting around to uploading it, editing it, doing the voiceover. So it's been about a month since I filmed this. Now I am using the shade called Double Scoop on my eyelid. It's a beautiful bronzy brown shade. I wasn't sure if it would go well with blueberry swirl, but I think it worked out okay. And now I'm adding a little bit of bubble gum to my inner corner and the inner third of my eyelid for a brightening effect. And of course, I'm doing it with my fingers. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of the shade called Hot Fudge to better define my lower lash line. It's just a nice matte dark brown shade. I decided to go in with Blueberry Swirl one more time and just elongate the eye look a little bit more. That shade reminds me exactly of blueberry yogurt when it gets mixed together. All right, here's the final look. I added my brown eyeliner, my Urban Decay Stag, and my mascara. And I just love this look. Okay, we're back for day 2. For today, I'm using the ColourPop and My Little Pony collaboration palette. Again, I started out with a matte cream shadow. I was hoping it had a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's just matte. Of course, I went in with the matte deep pink shade. It's a little bit different than Blueberry Swirl, but I love it. The effect is similar. The reason I like it is similar. I just love pink in my transition. Crease area. I've noticed that sometimes if I'm not careful, I blend one eye a little bit higher than the other, and it makes me look a little crooked, so I'm just trying to make sure that I have the right amount of eyeshadow on both eyes so that I don't look any more asymmetrical than I already do. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm going in with that deep, dark, almost black purple shade. And I'm putting it all over my eyelid. While saying to myself, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? The whole time. I did have a little bit of trouble blending out those eyeshadows. I worked at it and I did the best that I could, but I did spend a lot of time blending out my crease so that everything looked as smooth as possible. Not that anybody will ever see my crease because of my eyes, but I tried. Aw, good morning, Ron. Thanks for the hug. So, I thought what could be more fall than an orangey golden shade? And to make this look be more different than the one from the day before, I decided to use it as an inner corner, a highlight, and to cover the first half of my eyelid, the inner half. Oh, that's the face you make when you realize you might have made a huge mistake. I went with it anyways. I was kind of impressed with how well that orange golden shade popped over that dark black. Whatever, we're rolling with it. Here's the final look. I don't know if this red lipstick went very well with the eye look, but I don't know what lipstick would go well with that eye look. I do think this is one of those crazy eye looks where the mascara and eyeliner helped it to all pull together. Okay, it's day 3. We're going with the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette. I started again with a cream matte eyeshadow that I was hoping would have a little bit of shimmer, but didn't. That was the common theme for these 3 palettes. All 3 had a matte cream eyeshadow without any shimmer. And I wish they all had a little bit of shimmer in them. I've seen so many people declutter this palette, but I was really impressed with how it performed. I went in with that peachy orangey shade, and holy cow, I could not believe how pigmented it was. Not bad. Again, I'm just trying to keep things as even as possible. All right, I decided to go in with that matte plummy brown shade, and I placed it all over the outer half of my eyelid and into my crease a little bit. This is the moment where I realized I was getting some fallout from that eyeshadow. So I start blowing at it to try and get it to go away. Does anybody do that, or is it just me? Gosh, you are embarrassing sometimes, Paula. I almost wiped it away with my finger, and then I stopped myself and just thought, get the rest of the shadow on your eyelid because it could get worse before it gets better. So I used a little bit more of the orangey peach shade and a little bit more of the plummy brown for my lower lash line. and I found a brush to blend away the eyeshadow. Luckily, it blended away really nicely and the fallout didn't stick to my foundation or anything, so problem solved. I'm just going over with another layer of the deep brown shade to make it a little bit more intense. And now I'm blending out my crease again. I decided to grab some of that bronzy brown shade. I don't know why I can't say that. It's a lot like the same shade I used in my Dose of Colors look, and I applied it all over the inner half of my eyelid. I like it. I decided to go in with this goldeny highlight shade for my inner corner highlight. Boy, was it pigmented. Wow. It made a really nice inner corner highlight. All right, the final look. There it is right there. I think this is such a gorgeous fall eyeshadow look. I really like it. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I just figured I'd add this embarrassing clip where I realized at this very moment right here that I had forgotten to have my ring light on the whole time. Come on, Paula.